Lent this year was unlike others. On Ash Wednesday, as ashes were placed on my forehead, I heard the words, "Remember, man, you are dust, and to dust you shall return." 9 days later, March 2nd, 2012, weather reports indicated that storms were coming. As evening approached, winds and rain brought a heightened sense of foreboding. Warnings were issued on radio and TV. Seek shelter immediately. I sat on my bathroom floor and prayed that the storm would pass and no harm would come to the community. At 8:15 p.m., my phone rang. It was the hospital operator. A tornado had hit, a disaster was called, and I was needed. Adrenaline kicked in, and before I knew it, I was at the hospital. Within minutes, ambulances started arriving. An area off the front lobby had been converted to triage, where nurses worked with walk-in patients. By 8:45 p.m., all 25 rooms in the emergency department were full, with overflow in the adjoining observation unit. The biomedicine department was converted into a makeshift morgue. Many victims and family members were in a daze, some unaware of the extent of their own injuries. We received the sad news that one of our own employees had been found dead in a field, and her husband could not be located. Although they continued to care for everyone who was brought in, the reality that one of our own had been killed devastated the staff. 2 of her co-workers came to the emergency department in tears over what they had witnessed near her home. At a moment like that, there are no words, and even prayer does not seem to comfort. I believe that God has a plan, but that plan is sometimes hard to understand. The night passed quickly. In the midst of loss, there were moments of absolute pride and hope. Physicians and staff had left their homes and families and made their way to the hospital. Staff who could remain beyond the end of their shifts did so. Surgeons and surgical staff stood in the ambulance bay for more than 4 hours, triaging patients and taking some to surgery. Ministers came to offer help. In the early morning, we were in shock over what we had experienced. The night haunted my thoughts for many days. The emotional toll left me feeling empty with little to give. I thought back on the words of Ash Wednesday. "Remember, man, you are dust, and to dust you shall return." The night of the tornado made me aware of the dust of my limitations and of inadequate human responses. Still, this dust ultimately leaves me humbled and hopeful. In the weeks that followed, hope came through healing. In the days immediately after the tornado, the community rallied. Help came from all over the country to remove debris and help families begin to put their lives back together. In some ways, the rebirth of the community was symbolic of what we celebrated on Easter Sunday. From the pain and agony of that one night came the beginning of new life, hope, and resurrection. As I prepared for the Holy Saturday Easter Vigil, I read the words of the prophet Isaiah, 54:10-13. Which now have such profound meaning. "Though the mountains leave their place and the hills be shaken, my love shall never leave you, nor my covenant of peace be shaken, says the Lord, who has mercy on you. O afflicted one, storm-battered and unconsoled, I lay your pavement in carnelians and your foundation in sapphires. I will make your battlements of rubies, your gates of carbuncles, and all your walls of precious stones. All your children shall be taught by the Lord, and great shall be the peace of your children." And I learned again the meaning of the psalmist, "For with the dawn there is rejoicing." Lisa Rutherford, St. Joseph, London, London, Kentucky.